Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it's spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
Look out, we're back. It's another friggin' episode. I'm Caleb.
I'm Josh.
No, I'm Kitch.
And would you believe it? Away we kick for another episode of Cinema Podcast 2025. Thanks for giving us a bloody listen.
Wouldn't you believe that we've done 2 podcasts in less than 6 months?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how we've achieved this, to be honest. We've managed to get into the same place at the same time. Yeah. It's more often than we've been able to achieve in quite a while. Anyway, we've got to stop harping on about the fact that it's a struggle to do this podcast, but that's how much we love you out there in the wide world. We're just getting it done.
We are.
Yeah. Anyway, Josh, do you need a fucking art starter or what, mate? You all right?
Couple riddling.
You're a bit quiet. A couple of riddling.
I think it took a root for you to pick him up.
Oh, man. I tell you what. I'm keen, though. Keen to do another potty. I hope everyone out there enjoyed listening to the first episode, which we did in 2 halves for your listening pleasure.
I feel like that's working well. It's probably better for the people where you're not stuck into a podcast for 3 hours, even though they are. But
look, we do appreciate your feedback. So thanks to everyone who reached out to say they were grateful for us being back on the airwaves. There are 2 schools of thought, though. There's some people that consume their podcasts in 3-hour intervals, which is fair enough. You probably wanted the whole episode at once. Then there's those of us who just chuck it on in the car and have short trips and then just consume it as you go. Then there's weirdos out there that masturbate furiously in the corner for all 3 hours. So to those people, we salute you.
To be honest, I can't remember what you said 2 minutes ago, mate. So I need mine in 3-hour lots.
To be honest, I think if you're going to listen to a podcast, it'd be weird to do it at home while you're sitting on the couch. I find
I have to be doing
that the podcast time is driving.
Yeah,
I agree.
I listen to podcasts driving.
Doing something around home. If you're mowing the lawn or
Yes.
doing something where you just want to tune out and do it.
Yep.
But if the people that just sit there and listen to it instead of watching TV or doing something else at home, I feel like it's weird.
Actually, I'd do it reloading because I've got to take.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Well, I've got to take all the electronics out of the room because it interferes with the scale, electronic scale.
How are you listening to the podcast?
Precision.
No, so
the precision of your reloading. Wow.
I put my phone in the doorway. It's like I think I'm spitballing trying to remember the distance, but it's got to be like 6 foot away or something at least.
You know what you
from
could
your
do?
electronics.
You could have your phone in the 2 rooms down, get 2 cups and a piece of string, stretch it out, and then you got no electronics in your room, but you can still hear the sound.
Yeah. I'll just put it at the doorway. It'll be all right.
But it's throwing at your scales, bro.
What do you reckon percentage-wise it's throwing your scales out?
Yeah, look, I have done this and measured poured out, say, for argument's sake, 46 grains of powder, thrown it with the phone there on or the TV on, and then turn it off and thrown it again, and it has been out 0.4. And when the scales are out, the scales are accurate to 0.2. So, yeah, obviously that then can be a fair bit. And if you're bouncing around like high pressures or compressed loads or something like that.
Yeah, if you're pushing the boundaries, then yeah.
That can be a lot.
You know what he's doing here, Shannon? He's setting some groundwork for a valid excuse to not respond on his phone. I just reloaded.
Yeah,
man.
probably.
That's why I didn't answer.
Yeah, he's reloading like 7 days a week.
Look, I actually don't need an excuse. I just look at your messages and I'm like, boring.
Yeah, you're the worst at leaving someone on red and just gone.
Oh, look, man, honestly, I've become time poor lately. So yeah, that's all it is as well.
We know. Welcome to fatherhood.
Yeah, don't do it, kids.
I've said this before on the potty. It is the worst and best thing you will ever do at the same time.
Yeah.
I just want to reminisce on Josh's attitude. Was it probably not even 12 months ago? About having children and what you could do and what you can't do, which is what you can't do is nothing because you can do everything with a kid and you just pick up and go.
We probably haven't recapped this on the pod.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of people out there that still remember our pods from, I don't know, seasons ago where it was very much van life, chuck the kid in the van, do what you want, take it to the range.
Chuck it in a backpack
to be honest,
get hiking, yeah.
To be honest, I'd do that, but that would be fine. But I didn't take into consideration my missus's health, and 2, the maternal instincts that come when a mother's given birth. So that's all I'm going to say, just in case he listens to this podcast.
No, well, it is a natural for a female to become risk assessing.
Yeah. There's risk assessing and a whole heap
goes
of
in
stuff.
overload.
But I mean,
not that I can.
My missus is not well at the same time, and she does 99% of the nighttime stuff. So she's wrecked during the day, to be honest. And to be honest, I'll probably change one nappy a week as well. So
Far out. That's not a bad effort.
So how time poor are you really?
Yeah, very.
You just claim that you're time poor, and then you're like, I change one nappy a week.
Nah, so it's little things like, I don't know, the kids scream, basically. As soon as she's not getting attention, it's just on. There's no off switch unless you go near her and play with her or, entertain her. And I think she's learned that. So there's 5 adults in the house. So from a very, straight up from birth, if she complained, boom, someone was there. And I think, in my mind, I've seen that she knows that now. It's not just I'm hungry, where. It's I'm bored, where. And I know someone's going to come and entertain me. And you can see it because as soon as she, you pick her up, say if my missus picks her up, she will give you that smirk that everybody's seen before at least once in their life, that I knew this was going to happen, sort of.
Yeah, so you're reinforcing a really bad habit right now.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a struggle.
But I mean, in a house with 5 adults, man, that's pretty hard to enforce.
100%. I saw it with my youngest brother. He had 5 older siblings. He'd make the smallest squawk and he'd have any one of 5 of us plus mum and dad who'd give him attention, pick him up. He was the slowest to walk because
if you're getting carried.
he would just literally stick his arms in the air. Someone would pick him up and carry him somewhere. Like, why would you even bother trying to walk?
I wouldn't. So this is probably one of the best things that we've done. So it's an open plan sort of house, lounge room, little bar bit, and then kitchen and dining. So we put a pen up in the lounge room, right? Like full gated pen, put a mattress in the pen, and that's where we throw it. But because she's gotten used to having people around and entertaining her so much, when you'd leave her in there and you go away, she'd squawk. But then, obviously, if you're doing something like cleaning her bottles or trying to get dinner or something like that, you can't go over to her. So she learnt from a very young age to like stand herself up because the pens you can't see through. Stand herself up so she could look over it and look at you. Oh. And then that was good for about a week, right? Because that would quieten her down because she'd be like, oh, I'm standing and I can see everyone. But then she's realised I'm not actually getting attention. So started squawking again. But because of this, she started standing and she's almost at the point of walking already, where a lot of kids don't.
Because she's trying
because it's that attention sort of seeking thing and likes to be. She'd be fine if you put her in a walker right in the middle of the dining table, right where everyone's sitting around. She'd be fine. She'd be like, yeah, cool, I'm good. But you remove her like 2 meters. Wah, wah, wah.
So she likes to be the center of attention.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Typical female.
I don't know, mate. You might want to address that sooner rather than later, or you could have someone up on stage.
What are you implying?
What do you mean?
What are you implying?
Just saying, mate. An entertainer.
That she becomes a celebrity and earns billions of dollars. Here, done. Done. Tay is America's sweetheart.
Look, you take the billions of dollars, you wouldn't take her attitude to a lot of stuff. Did you see how she got booed at the Super Bowl?
Did she?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, she's dating one of the players.
Oh, bias.
But people have just off her because of her political views and her. People don't give a crap about her. Like, they're there to watch the Super Bowl. So the camera would go to her and she got booed. It was pretty funny, to be honest.
Supposedly that was one of the worst Super Bowl halftimes ever. Well, to public opinion.
The show with Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
I didn't really pay much attention to that.
I heard bad things about that. People couldn't understand what he was actually singing about because he was just a bit of a mumble up.
Yeah.
Probably what I do.
That's his style. I saw some commentary around his jeans because he had like low-rise flared jeans, and all the people who were teenagers in the early 90s got excited.
Yeah.
But how was that for a time? I'm going to go on a rant here. How shit are mum jeans?
Mum jeans?
Mum jeans. Like currently in fashion, 90s style mum jeans. I hate them.
Explain it, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like, look at what women wear. Bottoms. Like baggy fucking jeans. They're called mum jeans.
Okay.
Yep. Versus when we were teenagers.
So they're like skater jeans, really, for bidding.
No, just like, I'll have to Google them and show you. But you Google it. You're in front of a fucking computer.
I bet you just wear what's comfortable.
Do you know what? I don't give a fuck because
you just can't get your perv on with tight jeans, mate. That's all it is.
We were teenagers.
So you just straight cut jeans.
Straight cut. Really? There's no shape to them. They're just like straight up.
That's a better way of explaining it.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's why I got you to Google it. Just no form. Just like straight up and down. Yeah. Versus when we were young, they were like low rise, low cut, tight.
Well, there was a point
or
where
skinny jeans.
There was jean leggings, like
jeggings.
Yeah, so it's just going the opposite of that.
That's just a perv thing, Caleb, for you. That's all it is.
I'll agree. But here's the thing. We've gone on opposite sides of the spectrum. So our jeans are like way more conservative, but then you go to the beach, everyone's got the friggin' ass out. I was saying this to my missus the other day when we were at the beach. Like, it's more the exception rather than a rule that someone doesn't have their ass cheeks out when they're wearing a bikini. When I remember being a teenage boy and be like, if someone had a wedgie, you'd be like, holy shit, I can see her bum. Whereas now it's like everyone.
Yeah.
People in the 90s were in a one-piece bathing suit.
So do you find there's like a slut quota and they can't – that's why they go on the actual straight cut jeans because they cut back on that slut quota there and use it at the beach.
Maybe.
So they can, go less on the jeans but more
Saying
on
there's
the,
a total slut, like a slut point system.
Yeah. You only got like a 10 points to put in the slut
can
category.
only spend a certain amount of points.
and they put it all in the bathing suit.
I feel like they're just trying to get some vitamin D, mate.
I think it's all about attention, bro.
100%.
Flaunting it if you've got it, and some of them don't have it.
I don't really pay attention at the beach anymore, man. I'm too busy.
Do you even go to the beach? Do you have time?
No, not at the moment. Just gay.
It's all good and well until they don't pull it off.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Speaking of the beach, have you had your boat out recently or not?
Nah.
Just take it with you, man.
I've been hanging for tuna, but not at the moment.
Tuna, I think I saw something that the tuna were on the bite at the Goldie the other week. Not that it helps you, but
Thanks, mate. That's
3,000 odd Ks away.
a hot tip for us.
Yeah.
come up. We'll go tuna fishing with everyone else that's probably out there at Goldie.
Let's close this loop.
Stop buying cows and start buying boats so we come up and actually can go on a boat.
You have a boat. Just drive it up. Jump, take it off at the jetty and just drive around, do a trip in the boat.
Here's a loop to close. Have you been fishing in Queensland yet?
No, actually.
Have you been barra fishing in Queensland?
I haven't.
You call yourself an outdoorsman.
So
or like Gazeman.
We spent 3 hours absolutely tearing me a new one about not going to the gun shop or shooting a fucking AR-15 in America.
Yeah.
You're in the land of milk and honey when it comes to fishing, and there's not been a rod extended out of your hand.
But I'm still in the land of honey and milk, whatever you said.
Milk and honey.
Without extended rods.
It's like bacon and eggs, mate. You can't say it the other way around. It sounds weird. Egg and bacon.
Eggs and bacon. Egg and bacons. But yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there. So eventually.
Mate,
I'm actually a little, to be honest, I'm a little, because I did a trip. I was at Rocky the other week, actually. Should have taken the rod with me, but I didn't. But it's kind of croc country. So not being used to that, I'm a little skeptical.
Convenient excuse.
I've got an idea for you.
It's not an excuse. It's like I'm being soft here. It's just because I'm not used to it. It's just,
Don't think about it.
Just do it.
And then it doesn't become a problem till it does.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sounds like your COVID response. You're going to have COVID if you don't get tested.
Well, 100%, bro.
You don't have to get tested on only missing a leg.
But this is true, but then it's not a problem till you're missing that leg. So, hey, whatever.
True.
Hey, if you bought a boat, you'd be fine because you'd be in the boat.
Exactly. I don't have a boat.
But buy one.
I've got cows.
Buy one. Buy, something half decent so, we can all relax in it. Big enough.
No, that's probably one of the things we're thinking about doing was either a caravan or a boat. And we're like, well, if you got the caravan, you can't really take a boat with you as well. But if you got the boat, you can take your swag or rooftop or whatever. So that's probably going to be the better medium term.
Actually, stuff you. We'll come up and see you if we can do a tinny camp and boat trip in, somewhere that's barra country.
Like, are you bringing your boat or are you doing?
I'll bring it up.
Fucking oath, let's do it.
Carl can supply the car and fuel.
There's plenty of spots up here that not exactly right here. You go a bit north, and we can do a decent trip.
So we need 2 days up there and back, and then I'm going to want at least 4 days out on the boat.
Yeah, so it's a week. Just pencil in a week.
Probably need 2 cars
7
just
days.
in case we get stuck. Need a lift out.
Well, no, you get up here, and then we can take 2 cars from here.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I like this idea.
Don't need 2 cars to travel from here to there.
No, but up there, Or if we get stuck and bogged or whatever.
Yeah, it's a recoveries.
Yeah, recovery reason.
And for obviously we're going to need supply. So if we're out for 4 days, because that tinny, let's face it, doesn't hold too much when you put 3 swags and 3 grown ass dudes in it.
Well, settle down. We're not going to use the tinny as transport for the camping. We just go to the camping area.
No.
Yeah, okay, all right.
It's a trailer slash boat.
Tinny camp.
It's a boat slash trailer.
Yeah, it holds a little bit if you're not in it with it.
Yeah, tinny camp.
But when we were in the boat while the swags were in it as well, that sucked.
Yeah.
Did. I've put on weight since then too.
So have I.
I haven't.
Oh, look at me.
Yeah, you've lost weight. Look at you.
I have.
Skin and bone on that seat. Having no time for the gym. You obviously are time poor because gym would be your priority. How are you going with the gym?
That's going to be hurt though, not having the gym time.
You looking after Jim? He's doing all right?
Nah, so I had 2 weeks off actually and just got back into it this week and just do it before work, and I've cut down. So instead of doing like a 2.5 hour session, I just do an hour session in the morning, but every day,
normal
every
session.
day, instead of 3 or 4 days a week, every day. That's the plan anyway, because this is the first week back.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Oh, look, your hour is probably more intense than most people's 2.5 hours anyway, because a lot of people spend half of that time taking photos of themselves or
you're obviously not
Googling chicks in mum jeans, yeah.
I'd have to go to a gym to do that, mate. All right.
But it's definitely been testing. But stuff this, let's get back on the tinny trip. I'm keen.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So the thing that when I was looking into this is they have barra seasons in Rocky that you can take out. I'm pretty sure
that you can say. What do you mean take out? Like as in take away? And eat?
You can eat or take out. So it'd have to be in there because even if it's outside of that, I'm eating a barramundi regardless.
Yeah, that'd be 100%.
I'm not fussed.
I'm pretty keen to try and shoot a stingray with a spear gun or spear it like hand spear as well and eat it. I've watched a few videos now of people cooking stinger and it's pretty good, supposedly.
It's a bit of stingray, eh?
Yeah. So I wouldn't mind doing that.
I imagine it'd be kind of squiddy, like as in, I don't know, I feel like it'll taste like squid.
To me, it looks like a rubber mat. So it'd probably taste like a rubber mat. But
it's like, it reminds me of just the fins on a squid.
Just a giant flap. Just,
it reminds me of that.
You'd enjoy it.
At one point.
So it definitely doesn't taste like rubber then.
Tastes like fish.
Fishy flaps, yes.
It just depends on what time they are.
What is this? What does this stingray taste like? Bolognese.
All right. You're definitely not eating it now. He's ruined it for you.
Shit.
Has anyone out there actually ever eaten stingray?
Of course.
I'd be keen to know. Like, if you have, let us know. Give us the hot tip what it tastes like. I wouldn't imagine.
You realise we're going to get an influx of vaginal jokes.
Sad photos. Like,
vagina tastes like stingray and dick tastes like avocados?
That's the fact-finding mission we've been on the last 2 episodes.
That's odd because Caleb now eats an avocado for lunch today. It's super odd.
I'll try the stingray. You try the avocado.
No, I'm spreading my spreading my avocado on the stingray just to cancel each other out. It's neutral.
Just tastes like a whole cheese on bolognese.
Oh God!
But I think there's one other thing I wouldn't mind trying to chase. I don't know if the tinny's going to get out into the water up there, but I wouldn't mind catching another mackie. But I think mackie, it's possible, obviously, to catch it from a tinny, but how far out? I don't know.
I'm assuming you mean mackerel.
Yeah.
Just confirming. Okay.
Yeah, mackerel. Nice Spanish.
Yeah, I might have to have a quick Google.
On what a mackerel looks like?
No, like how far offshore, like you have to go for a mackerel because I'm not sure.
Because I reckon we get what Queenies and Trevally and that pretty easy. Oh, you guys actually need to try. What are they called? You catch them in the mangroves. Mangrove Jack. Wow.
We were along.
Typically hang close to the shore, so we're sweet.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, wouldn't mind targeting that in Mangrove Jack as well.
That's good because I was going to say I don't really want to go too far offshore on your boat.
Cool.
Your tin.
So
capsized.
the furthest I've been out in it so far was actually the only time I've taken it out at night, dapping for gar, and like because it was night, we didn't realise how far we were going out. And I'm like, well, this will be all right because we'll just go towards the light, essentially, to get back. Oh, yeah. So if we keep going further out, but we see a glimmer of light, that's it. We'll just head there.
And then you end up going into the sea chasing a cargo ship.
But that was good.
How funny it would be if you go out far enough and you're like, oh, we're just got to go back towards the light and you start heading towards the York Peninsula instead of back to Adelaide.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Get turned around.
Look, it's possible to do, but I don't think with a 20-litre fuel.
You wouldn't get out there. You get halfway and run out.
You want to test it?
Nah, don't want to. I don't want to paddle.
Oh, he's got to get rid of his seasickness, this skirt.
It was fine last time I was out with you.
He's got to get him catching. As long as he's catching fish.
Like, it's not going to disappear, man.
I feel like something
But I've learned to manage it better. And I think the more I get taken out onto your chinny, the more I think I'll adapt. So
I think just bring avocado, and if you feel seasick, you got to eat an avocado. It's just the mental will to not feel sick.
He's basically asking you to eat his penis.
Yeah, I'll give you an avocado. No, you got to choose.
wow. If anyone didn't listen to episode 1, they're going to be like, what the fuck are you let on?
I find it weird if people do that and start with the episode now and then not go back. Especially if it's the start of a season. This is what, the second episode? Like, if you're going to start, would you naturally just go, oh, I'll go to first episode?
It's like lesbianism, man. They always go back.
Jeez.
I don't know if they always do, but I mean, we personally have witnessed some that have. So, on a personal level,
I think Couchy was part of the reason why it went back.
I don't get it.
Well, your missus was like crapping on about how chummy you were getting with old mate.
Oh, yeah.
And then
It wasn't even chummy. I was just having a conversation.
Yeah, but that to her, that was chummy. So
that was years ago. Like to her, chummy would be looking at someone. But
she's just exuding raw sex appeal, and it turned her.
So she's flipped again.
Yeah,
big time.
Yeah. Okay.
Back on the D train.
Big time. This means nothing to anyone out there listening, but yes.
No, it doesn't.
Well, I'm sure we're not the only ones that's seen a leso flip.
What, you roll her over or?
Wow. We're getting well off track here, but that's what people love, so why not?
Guess what?
What?
I come about a foot away from a brown snake today at head height.
Did you? Did you get consent from him first, or?
Yeah.
Did it taste like avocado?
Oh man, go.
It was.
Tell us how you were masturbating near a snake.
For a second there, I'm like, how's that related to an avocado? Yeah, sorry, a little slow.
I come about what?
Yeah, about a foot away from her.
Okay, so
yeah,
you found yourself within a foot of a brown snake.
Yes, it was up on the fence, and I was going to go under the fence, and I leant down, and there was the upright, the post, had the tail of the snake hanging there, and it was off to my left or above my head, and I'm like, I don't remember a rubber snake being up there because it just looked really rubber, and then I realised there was no rubber snake; it was a fucking brown snake sitting up there.
Up on the fence,
scared. It was sunning itself. It was the end of the day. It was today, so it was just chilling and sunning.
The lengths the snakes have to go to get out of your unmown grass, mate.
Exactly. So the grass around there is actually pretty good.
Okay.
Mhm.
Just was looking for the optimum spot to get the sun.
Yeah, and I guess it would have been a good spot. And then it would have more sun there for longer because the sunset obviously being higher.
Did you shoot it?
You know how sunsets work. Well, I thought about it, and I haven't got a scope on my rifle.
You're not supposed to,
that
mate.
off. No, you're not
No,
supposed
it's
to.
coming right at you. It's a threat. Ain't no judge gonna like.
Is that what is that your justification, Josh? It's not gay if you shoot it.
Yeah, it's coming right for you. Shoot it.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, like it's probably been a while since I've been pretty close to a reptilian snake.
So you didn't
put
shoot
that
it.
little caveat in there.
I gotta be careful what I say now.
So you got dogs
Right.
around and you didn't shoot it.
No, he didn't shoot it because it's
Well,
not.
I didn't shoot it.
It's not harming. It's not immediate threat to his safety.
But
Is that his head
it's not-
height, mate?
Yeah, it scared the fuck out of me. But I jump back and then I reassessed, and it's like, well, I see one. There's 20 more. I just don't see him. So yeah, it wasn't at the house. So I just sort of shooed along. Then
Brown
somehow
snakes
went into
territorial.
Oh yeah, but generally, if you don't corner them, they'll be fine, unless they, I think, breeding. I think that's when they're the worst. So, yeah,
Yeah, it's the baby ones you got to look out for.
yeah, he wasn't baby, but he wasn't huge either. He was only probably like 3 foot, 4 foot, and probably just width of my finger, which is probably wider than most. But I just beat you to it, Caleb.
Yeah, you did. That's all right.
I saw your eye twinkle.
Yeah. That gets us in trouble a few times, mate. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. The old twinkle in the eye gives it away.
I think he's frozen.
He is frozen. It sounds like some robot slowly dying. I'm leaving this in. I don't even care.
Yeah, he's still frozen.
He's frozen as. Oh my gosh.
That's what you get when you don't shoot the snake.
All right. Well, at this point, we might have to pause while he comes back because he's dead. All right. Well, we had to pause because the internet was a shit stain, and it's back now. So, welcome back, Couchy.
Just want to point out we wouldn't have that problem
If you're in the same
someone
state.
didn't leave the state.
Yeah, wouldn't have that problem if you come up to the state as well.
I'm not coming up there, mate. I ain't touching your humidity. It's not happening.
You can
You are
touch my
for fishing in
humidity
the
anytime.
tinny.
Yeah, no, fishing will be right. The humidity's not actually that bad, to be honest. I'd rather this than the 44 degrees you just went through.
Look,
For how long? It was like a heat wave for about a week.
It's light work, mate. Didn't even notice.
it
Didn't
is
notice.
hotter than an oven, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, it hasn't reached close to 40 here in the last, I don't know, year and a half.
Doesn't need to. It's an oppressive state with the humidity, mate.
It's very consistent, I find it, which is good.
I'm glad you've adapted.
It probably helps being on the range rather than down on the coast or in the flats. Thanks, Josh. We're
Thanks,
recording.
Josh. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
all good.
No, it's all right.
Anyway,
You're welcome.
So yeah,
You're welcome, listeners out there. Just Josh was burping.
Rather out than in, I say.
No decorum, mate.
no shit's given. But yeah, so I come across the brown, which surprised me because browns down south don't have the real yellow belly to them.
It's racist.
Because you never see the belly because it's slithering on the ground.
Yeah, I suppose this first one I've seen it head height on the fence, where I've actually had a good look at it. But yeah, I was on the way out to do some halter training on the calves, so that's actually going all right. It's kind of funny. So just teaching them to be able to be haltered. These two calves.
Gotcha.
One doesn't give a shit, and she's pretty chilled. The other one is a bit flighty, I guess.
So he does know what it's like to have a problem child.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he can just walk away.
Yeah, leave it in the paddock overnight.
Oh, yeah. Currently, they're penned up and they're out in the dark.
Doesn't have to
They
clean up
make
the
a noise.
shits either. Just lets them
No,
do
they
it on
just-
the ground.
Let the chickens scratch it. So, but yeah, the whole training is actually kind of interesting because they kind of go nuts when they're getting so put them on a halter and then chuck a lead rope on them. Well, it's just a Telstra rope. And then let them out of the pen because it's trying to make them so they're just not scared of it, I guess. So I'll pretty much just hold the rope until they settle down and stop moving. But in the meantime, this cow is groaning, bucking, running around in a circle, just pulling on the lead. But that only lasts probably, the first cow, she only did that probably like 2 minutes and then realized nothing was working and then settled down. That was the last time she did it. But this problem child, she's going to be fun. So she's got a lot more life to her. But yeah, made grounds. It's a good way to spend the afternoon.
Put it in the freezer. Ain't no one got time for that.
It's kind of it's fine. It's good. I enjoy it because I want these two to be people friendly. So,
gotcha.
Like a dog with horns.
We got a modern day man from Snowy River.
We do.
But it's surprising how much like a cow. They're only calves, but they can jump and kick. It's just like a bull. You make a good rodeo bull. Except they're calves.
You won't do it. You're scared.
He's a genuine cowboy.
Well, by the time they get big enough to jump on, they're going to be fine.
We're going to go visit him in like a year, and he's going to be in chaps and a cowboy hat.
With a bumper sticker that says, "Cowboys' butts drive me nuts."
Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
Maybe I'll just ride a cow in like Putin.
Mate, I reckon the D-Max is too Gucci for a cowboy. I reckon you got to get a 79
I think
or
I was
something.
79.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Full country.
Yeah, fuck power windows. Yeah, screw good door seals. I just want to hear the road noise of the gravel underneath the car.
It's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually rate your D-Max, the new ones.
It's nice. I like it.
It's
a comfy drive.
Yeah, it is. Good on you. Well done.
So, yeah.
How's you put a canopy on the things recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I went with a smart cap canopy. So it's just a tub canopy, which is, I guess, my biggest peeve with tub canopies are the small windows on the side.
Yeah. And
they're pretty much useless. So the reason I went smart cap was pretty much they're a full door.
Yeah.
There's really not much of the whole height of the canopy is a door pretty much. So it's a good in between where I could spend $5,000 on a tub canopy rather than $20,000 on a tray canopy setup.
Mm.
So
yeah, that side access is
and it's got built-in dog doors, so to have the dogs with us, and they're fine and secure.
Yes, yeah,
and it's got some positive pressure. So even if there is gaps in seals, which there always is in tubs, it's got positive pressure, so therefore it doesn't suck in dust and shit.
Yeah.
So it stays relatively clean in there, surprisingly, even with the dog doors open.
Yeah, nice. Because, that's my two biggest gripes with the BT50 is the side windows are tiny and the rear tailgate is not sealed very well and it just lets a shit ton of dust in.
Oh, it's nuts. And, my work ute's like that. It's just I don't know, it's just always dust in there. But, so if you're looking for a tub canopy it's actually pretty good. It's all stainless steel, so there's not going to rust. It's South African built, so it's not Chinese steel. So check out Smart Cap. Not endorsed, but I rate it, and it's a bit sort of so all the wings open, doors open up, and then there's bolt-in. I chose to have a bolt-in like toolbox in almost half of the side.
Yep.
So it's about a 300 mil internal space where I can just chuck quick access stuff in there.
Nice.
So it's pretty good actually. If you want to just chuck something in there, you don't want it rolling around the back, then just chuck it in the little box. The only thing I'm going to change to it is central locking. So
it's not centrally locked.
Nah, when I got the quote, it was like $2,000 extra or $1,500 extra for the central locking, and I'm like, yeah, eBay can do something. So, me just getting cheap, but I was like, I'll try it without it first, and then if I want it and I want to go through it, I'll buy it then. But we're sick of doing 6 locks.
Yeah, in practice, it's annoying as hell to have to unlock manually.
Yeah. So that'd be the only thing I'd change. But yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
There you go. Little plug.
So
So you forgot to mention that in your last little update last week.
I forgot to mention a lot of things, to be honest. But
Yeah, it's like you did nothing for five months apart from buy cows.
That was the main thing at the time because it was fresh. It was right then and there.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So, yeah, I was going to say something, but I forgot that already.
Oh, good. Well, that's a perfect time to move on then.
Thanks, man.
Well, we should mention that this season we're going to do something a little bit different with our episodes, just the three of us. So those that have listened to us for a while would have been familiar with the concept of bringing one single topic to the floor and then all of us breaking it down 3 ways. But what we're going to do this season is shoot from the hip, which will be very different. Well, same but different in that we are going to bring a topic or a phrase or a word or a discussion point without pre-warning the other two. We're going to bring 3 different discussion points, thrash it out quickly, see what we can get out of it, milk it dry, and then move on.
So when we were talking about this, trying to work it out, we never actually went through the ins and outs of it. Do we go on our own topic, or is my topic that I give just for you two to divulging? Because if you've got your own topic, you can kind of have a background story for it.
Yeah, you can.
And the whole point of this thing is not have this preempted story. So what do we do? Because 9 takes on stuff will probably take a little longer than 6.
Yeah, you raise a fair point. This is a democratic podcast. So in real time, ladies and gentlemen, you're experiencing us hashing out this idea and making it work because we haven't practiced this yet. So
we're literally shooting from the hip.
9 seasons in and we're bringing some fresh approaches. I reckon just make the other two talk about it.
Yeah, I reckon we do that. And if it does go through too quickly, I haven't got a lot of content to give, then we'll probably chime in.
Yeah, we can prop it up.
I feel like you're going to want to say your piece anyway on a topic, so it's just naturally going to flow to a...
Yeah, if we've got nothing to move on... Well, actually, no. If we're going to go, I can't go on my own topic, it makes you guys come up with something rather than go, no, I got nothing. Because it gives you a cop-out if someone else can go on their own topic.
Doesn't have to be a... Well,
it's literally anything. It can be shooting from the hip and...
It could be anything. It could be a word, a concept, a phrase, an idea... By all means,
story.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start it off then.
All right. And by the way, send your suggestions in for us. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work because then we'll have a pool of them. Send them to.
Actually, no, send it in because we can choose privately our own point from that pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Josh is going to start us off. Welcome, first ever running of shooting from the hip.
Josh is starting off because he doesn't want to do it first.
Just quick backstop. This is come in conversation with a couple of fellas I've been hunting with lately, but I'm gonna just say it straight. Donald Trump is Elvis Presley. Changed my mind.
Shit.
Donald Trump is Elvis Presley. Changed my mind.
Yeah.
Do I have to try and change your mind though? Maybe I'm all for it.
Okay, well, what do you think?
Yeah, that's probably a better one. I'm gonna say yes because, well, I'm not sure if it's a yes question to be honest. I'm kind of confused, but I feel like Elvis Presley was sort of a game changer, and he changed up the field of music. So the king of rock.
Oh,
no, king of, yeah. And I feel like Trump's doing the same thing politically. In America or in the world, really, he's sort of setting a good example to change the field of the direction we're in.
Oh,
globally,
not bad.
Okay.
I agree with it, and I like it, and yeah, I like the terminology as well. So that's probably my take. It's probably quick and sharp. But
yeah, well, we can keep thrashing this out. So you're saying change your mind. So you're stating to me,
look, I don't believe it, but. So it just come up in the conversations.
Well, it's not your conversation.
No, but this is what I'm meaning about. Like, let it just flow because you're all going to want to say your piece.
Mm.
But so driving out to a station the other week, one of the boys I was with who will listen to this podcast, who we all know, he basically just come out with this random thing, and he's like, you know, Donald Trump is Elvis. I'm like, I beg your pardon. He's like, nah, serious. Like, the mannerisms are the same. Like, the way he talks, the way he walks, all this sort of stuff. I'm like, what planet do you live on? I don't believe it one bit.
Well, while you mention that, I'm going to Google the birth year of Elvis because I like facts. I need to have a left and right of arc.
Does that really fly with the topic, like the shooting from the hip, though, Caleb?
No. Well,
I think you're just changing. You're not a Josh and moving the goalpost.
Well, I'm allowed to. It's my fucking podcast. So Elvis was born on the 8th of January 1935. Ooh, Donald Trump was born. Let me have a look here.
Nowhere close to that. Oh, no.
He's pretty fucking old. Nah. 14th of June, 1946. So we've got 11 years difference. So I think
so in the era, he grew up watching him.
So I think that personally shoots it down because there's 11 years difference in their birth year.
Wait a second. If you're dead and then you're wealthy and you're dead, or everyone thinks you're dead. This is Elvis. And then Trump's, like, Elvis is wealthy, everyone thinks he's dead, and he's got like this miracle thing where he drops a bit of blue crap in his tongue. And
he's saying that,
like, young or whatever it is.
He's saying that Elvis literally is Trump.
Yeah.
Is that what he's getting at exactly? I thought he was representing. I actually thought he was meaning like he's acting. You know, Trump and him are the same person, kind of.
No,
but not the same person. No. Yeah, that's cool.
Because there's the theory that Elvis isn't actually dead.
Yeah, there is. I like that theory.
I think they look too different, and I think if you're gonna come back as someone else or take on someone else's identity,
I don't know. The US presidents are pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
But why would you want someone who has the shittest hair in the world? Or is that because he's done so much facial surgery?
He's pulled more punani than you ever will and looks like that.
Elvis or Trump?
Trump.
Well, if Trump is Elvis, then yeah. But I don't know that he has, man.
I love that word, punani. I'm going to bring that word back.
Yeah, bring it back. We're bringing punani back.
I'm just looking at comparison images of Trump and Elvis.
If Trump,
when he was younger, like it kind of, I can see it more than when he's now. But then again, Elvis hasn't got to the age of Presley. Maybe, Elvis hasn't got to the age of Trump. I could see where it's come from.
Look, it's not out of the question, especially when you've got Obama married to a potential man.
Yeah.
Like Michelle's actually Michael. Like, strange things have happened. So, look, it's not out of the realms of possibility that Elvis has continued living and has assumed the identity of Donald Trump. It's not. You can't say it's out of the question, but I'd say it's highly unlikely.
I'd say it's impossible, but I say
nothing's impossible.
Nothing's impossible.
He could have had some work done on his face, not an MJ, but successful.
That could explain the hair. They could explain they couldn't get all the transplants done and everything properly, and the hair was a fail, so they just rolled with that. But there is plenty of imagery of Trump in his younger years.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, but what's to say that Trump, the real Trump, didn't pass away and then Elvis
just took over?
Yeah.
Maybe Elvis killed Trump and skinned him and is wearing a bodysuit.
Yeah, I don't think it works like that, but...
Why not?
I mean...
So Elvis died in 77 rather. I'm going to find an image of Trump from 77. And
I think there's one that's like they're way different face features, but
yeah, completely different, man.
I like the theory.
If this was Mythbusters, this would be
so. This fella's
busted
that brought this conversation up. He's like, The nose looks the same. This, that. What world do you live in?
Do you know what? Like, if you look at Trump from 1977, you can make a case.
I can see where it's coming from.
The pout, like the doughy eyes, like not the nose so much.
Maybe the mouth and the eyes. Maybe. You know, when you see someone and, you know, or someone looks like someone that you know, and you're like, oh, clearly somewhere in their biological lineage over the decades they could possibly come from, you know, the same thing. Like we all come from Noah and his family, and then previous to that, Adam and Eve. But, like, and I can see similarities in people at times. But I think that's a ridiculously long bow to draw.
Yeah, like if I had to put money on it, I'd say fucking no way.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it did happen, then he's definitely let himself go.
Yeah, but if you were worth a few $1 billion, you'd just be like, eh.
I don't like, first and foremost, I don't think Elvis is alive. I think he died when they thought he died.
He died car crash off the cliff, didn't he? Is that how he died?
No, did he die of a heart attack? Because he was just like eating himself into a fucking stupor at that point, wasn't he?
OD?
Oh, because he probably had a lot of health issues.
Oh,
as well.
God, there's going to require a lot of Googling in this segment. Elvis died. We need a Jamie.
We do need a Jamie.
Elvis died of... Was it a heart attack?
Combination of drugs causing a fatal irregular heartbeat. Well, that's what a heart attack is. The beat stops. Yeah, so it's because he was turning into Trump. He's like, just had a heart attack. No.
I think, yeah, it's
looking at some of these photos, I'm like, okay.
No. There's... Nah.
But I tell you, I like the topic though. I like that.
That's a good one. It's a conversation starter, Josh.
It gives us hope for this new shooting from the hip. Starting off.
Yeah, that's
good work.
It's a good hip shot. Good aim.
Look,
Ooh.
It's okay, but the 2 hours of of talking about it got dry. Like,
oh, you spent 2 hours talking about that in the car.
It was like a 3-hour road trip, man. Like Elvis got brought in pretty quick.
Yeah, man. What was the strongest argument for the affirmative?
He was the only one doing the arguing. I was like, yeah, nah.
Was it just 3 hours of him talking and you two listening?
Yeah, basically. I'm pretty sure me and Will were like, yeah, heavily intoxicated by this stage.
Fair enough.
Sober when he started, drunk when he finished?
We weren't. We were drinking water and coffee. Heavily intoxicated on caffeine. There you go.
Just straight vodka and rum and coffee.
Look, there may not have been any caffeine in it. Yes, very little.
All right. Well, I think we've
divulged in that one.
Yeah, I think we've milked that one.
Actually, there's a few good ones coming out from the States lately, like the whole JFK files and that. All the declassified stuff. Yeah, it's getting spicy.
Well, this is what kind of leads into, well, not really leads because it's really a topic, but my topic would be the land of new beginnings.
He said that because he moved to Queensland.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. This is literally just a fucking shoehorn. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll just justify why I left you too.
Jump on the bandwagon, guys. Come to Queensland.
I can't talk about it.
Is this why you didn't want to? Is this why you didn't want to talk about the topic yourself?
Well, it sounds like you're fucking asking for my input on the topic that I gave. No, this was something that I felt like works best. But then I wasn't actually thinking about the Queensland move. I totally didn't reference that.
Sure.
Honestly,
sure.
You know what I was referencing? There's got two things.
Okay.
But go on. No. Well, no, you guys go on because I can't help.
All right. Well, land of new beginnings. Well, aside from the glaringly obvious thing of what you've done and just fucking packed up and moved to another state.
Which, because you're lucky, you've landed on your feet. You're like, I swear you should start buying lotto tickets, and then if you do, I'll give you like $20 towards them, so I get like 50% of it.
He does have an uncanny knack of just like
Lucky,
exactly
luck.
landing on his feet.
Luck and athleticism.
Do you know why? It's because he likes cats and we hate him.
Yeah.
I am a cat.
You're a pussy. That's what you are. Land of new beginnings. All right, so I might do it this way. If I was going to move somewhere else and start afresh, land of new beginnings, where would I go? If I could go anywhere in the world.
This is going to be easy because you've been to 2 places, so it's going to be one of 2.
Been to a lot of places, man.
Black Rock in America.
I've been to Europe.
Yeah, Europe and the US. And honestly, you spoke more highly of Austin than you did anything else.
I've also been to Asia. I've also been to Pacific Islands. I've been around.
Oh, okay.
Calm
Asia.
down.
But no one actually wants to move to Asia.
Anyway, let the man
I mean,
talk.
plenty of Australians just move to Bali and start dodgy businesses and live like kings.
Yeah, pedos and like, I don't know, weirdos, yeah.
Well, yeah.
No, but like, those people can get the same wage we're on now and live on like they got triple.
Yeah, exactly. That's the beauty of Bali. It's like luxury for cheap.
Actually, my uncle wants to move to Vietnam.
There you go. See the dodgy uncle? Or?
Uncle Bad Touch. No, I barely had anything to do with him.
Oh, I was trying to reference something.
Luckily for you.
Thanks, Josh.
Where would I go? See, I don't like. Obviously, the States, I was pretty fucking keen. And Texas was good. So Austin, I was really comfortable, felt at home. That could be a good option. I don't know there'd be anywhere else really. Like, I haven't been.
If you had to go somewhere new, what would you base it off? Like, what would be the key points that you'd be like, okay, well, this is going to have this, this, and this.
Well, obviously, I've got to be able to work there to earn a coin. Or two,
you got to work anywhere. You
three.
can work anywhere, man.
So it's got to be the jobs have got to be down. So the money, the money's got to be secure. See, this is where it's hard because obviously the missus is going to want to go there too. And then I've got kids which don't live with me all the time. So if I move to another country, that's the criteria. I'd have to do it when they're a bit older and they can deal with not having their dad around.
When they don't care about you, when you're gone, they just want you gone. You're like, all right.
You're not cool anymore, Dad. But where that would be, I'm not sure. I don't know. Actually, I'm going to strike all that, everything from the conversation.
I was going to say, because your breakdown's nothing so far.
I want to just fuck everyone off and just live in a cabin in the woods.
Who's that guy in America? The fucking, is it the Iceman or something that does that? Just lives in the woods?
Yeah. When I've had enough of people in general, and I just because I enjoy
weekly.
Yeah, I only allow other people around when I want to do this podcast. No, when I want to escape everything, like that's where I go. I go to just a cabin in the woods, and I don't actually go. That's where I go in my mind. I would like to just exist somewhere, hunt. Keep building up this cabin, like, you know, oh, fuck, that would be a good idea if I built one of those, like, you know, build a meat hanging shed, you know. I want to make it easy for myself to get water from the stream, like do some sort of irrigation system, like just not have to worry about earning money, just exist in the cabin and hunt. Just hunt and live a primal existence.
That's pretty funny because there is a show that was they made of this couple's life. And I think he was a logger or an engineer or something. And him and his wife like saved up enough money, and then they ended up like just going out into Alaska and staked a claim because I believe Alaska. I don't know after Trudeau, but I believe you can still do it past a certain point. Like there's like a certain line, international parks, I guess you'd call it. where you can.
And I think
go.
you don't need permits to build a house there. If the house moves like 6 inches over 12 months,
every year it's got to move. So you can add on to the house, and that's considered it's moving. So
is that because it's just so wild? It's just like good luck to you, or
well, past a certain point, it's just like because of the weather's a huge factor, like icing or getting snowed in and stuff. So there's a lot of seasonal people that live out there. Like they'll live out there for 6 months. When winter hits, or before winter hits, they leave and then go back after winter. But this fella and his wife live out there. Like they just moved out there and lived out there, and they were getting on in their age, and they pretty much, I don't know if they approached a company or a producer to sell their story or whatever, but they basically ran like a competition to win their house. And then
I've seen that actually. Yeah. And there's a competition was like 6 to 8 couples.
Yeah.
That had a competition to see if they could actually survive.
Yeah.
And handle it.
Yeah.
It was actually, I'll Google it, but that was actually a really good series.
I'm trying to think of Wild Alaska maybe.
No, it wasn't like that.
Sounds interesting. Just the whole off-grid thing.
Yeah.
But
look, they just made it work, man. Yeah.
And I think the winners weren't actually like if you survive, you win. It was the owners assessed how you went.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, this guy can handle it. I like this couple. They're going to actually honour the way the property's going.
Yeah. And they ended up inviting the people that they thought would do a good job, the couples that they thought could win, in for like an overnight stay to get to know them and see their character in that. But yeah, like that. Look, that'd be pretty cool, man. That would.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd say in answer to that.
See,
fresh start. Was it a fresh start? You said
win the wilderness. That's what it was.
Yeah. I like
Alaska.
I like the idea of that because, and this is something that really draws camping and hunting to me is the amount of effort you put in whilst you're out there directly correlates to how comfortable you are. So if you put minimal effort in, you can survive and hang it out. But if you put a lot of effort in, it's comfortable and it's like it is instantly rewarding. I
feel like effort doesn't necessarily mean success.
No.
It's giving you the best odds to survive comfortably.
Look,
or at least
you've got to have some sort of basis, like to go bush anyway. Some basic knowledge and things to get yourself out of a pickle, or at least be confident in your decisions. But it is true with hunting and camping. Just that in itself is okay. I can either be miserable while I'm out hunting, or just make it comfortable.
That's why I love that show Alone. And it's interesting to see, obviously there's 10 contestants that all start at the same time. It's interesting to see who puts a focus on what in the early days. So a lot of people will just go the most basic lean-to shelter or just put a tarp up and then focus on food and water. Others will put all this effort into like this fuck-off shelter and then struggle for food. And it's always a balance because some people have better areas than others. Some have easier access to water. But, yeah, some people royally fuck it up too.
I guess it's one of those, that you get caught up in doing something perfect or long-term. Sometimes it's a simple shelter to get you through, to get everything else set up and then work on the shelter later.
Yeah.
But, yeah, obviously it's TV. You're not sure how much of a influence I suppose Alone doesn't really have the camera crew.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like Alone's sort of one of the purer versions.
Well, you would say like that's so what it seems. See, I believe they do like a basic course before they go out there and get instructed and things. It's sort of like our cooking shows. The chef,
I think they run through the plant life and stuff in the area, what they can and can't touch, what's poisonous.
Same sort of thing. I think
skills.
That takes legality off of the.
Yeah, like there's always things that can't hunt, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then also a lot of that initial training is on just, filming and setting stuff up and all that. Yeah, it's like cool. Everyone's filmed themselves, but this is how you do it to a more professional
How
standard.
authentic is that? If it's
No,
supposed to be a show.
I think that's authentic because again, legality reasons. If someone doesn't die out there, two, it's better for the show if they can somewhat film okay. But you're not helping that person survive in the long run. Once they're out there, they're by themselves, or in that case, the last alone was actually as a group. But
it depends which. Well, there's alone from all different countries and whatever. I've just started I think it's season 9 of the American one. Yeah, and there's a guy. I skipped a heap of seasons, but yeah, I've just started 9 because I'm back in again. And
I haven't seen that.
There was a guy. He just a genius thing. He fucking dyed his hair green in places for the purpose of chopping bright green hair off and using it as fishing lures, just so he could have a bright green fly. Basically,
that's nuts.
Pretty clever. Like, it's not against the rules. He's not bringing extra items. He's chopping his own hair off, which he dyed bright green before he went on the show. I'm like, that's fucking clever.
That is cool.
So people are finding ways of like intentionally bringing us. Like, there's one guy, he's bought a tarp that's see-through because it's one of his items, and he's chopped it up to use as windows on his cabin because it's partially like you can see through it. Well, that's clever too.
you just shelf like a lighter or two just to make sure you have fire out there.
I see. I find that good, like the ingenuity people have, or like taking the eyelet out of your tarp and using that as a guide for your fishing line.
People are quite resourceful when given the opportunity.
Yeah,
which is it's still good that you still have people like that, because I think the art of survival and craftsmanship is dying out. But yeah,
even just ingenuity in general, or creativeness, or I mean, at this point, this is segueing really well into what I want to say. So, Josh, unless you want to go,
no, Josh, you have to go.
All right, betrayal, loneliness. What else is there?
Is this just how you felt when Shannon left?
Yeah, basically.
To be honest, I'm still feeling that vibe like 4 months in. I'm just giving you an opportunity because you don't want to go out there here and see your sister. You may as well come back and see me.
That's a fair point. Yeah, your sister's not too far.
Yeah, look, so I think my head goes to the same sort of place, I guess, but
can't cop out. That's a cop out, man.
No, it does.
Give me something unique.
Well, I did. I gave you betrayal and loneliness.
Okay.
Hey, what was your
new beginning? Was it a fresh start, new beginning, or something?
Yeah, land and new beginnings.
Land and new beginnings.
I threw the land in there just to make it a little more, maybe something else. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Something different then. Okay. The Jews going into the land of Canaan. There you go.
Jesus.
No, Jesus wasn't there.
He was.
Can you elaborate on that, Josh?
I can. So when the Hebrews broke free of slavery from Egypt, they wandered via Moses and God leading them out. They ended up wandering the desert for 40 years, but God had promised to bring their nation into the land of Canaan, which was it was very, how do I put this, a hostile country, or hostile people, I should say.
However, was the land of milk and honey.
Yes, it was, yes.
That's that for a segue.
So obviously milk and honey was like a term for, like, it's fruitful. The country was very fruitful, beautiful, lush, so produced fruit. Origins. Milk, honey.
Milk to fruit.
Yeah.
It became juice.
I don't know. So, like, it's that journey of that new beginning, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. You've just
so
told a Bible story.
But they put God first. God led them through the desert into the land of Canaan in the end. But it was a journey for them. In that time, Moses was given the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai. And while he was up there getting the commandments, the rest of the nation stayed at the bottom, and they ended up making a calf idol and worshipping the idol. And when Moses came down and saw it, he broke the tablets and had to go back up.
They're idolizing Caleb. With the calf idol.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for them it was a big journey during that time as well, because they had sinned in worshipping an idol. God had said to them, none of this generation, this perverse generation, will get to go to Canaan. So that extended their wandering in the deserts for that 40 years, right, because of their choice, until that generation had died out. And the next generation then got to go see Canaan. Moses himself didn't cross the river, I can't remember, into the land of Canaan.
There's an absolute pinnacle to this story, which I really hope you get to. There's like a key.
I'm hoping you get to a pinnacle.
There's a key couple.
Two people?
Two particular characters in this story.
Yes. So during this, as
he's coming to a crescendo.
As they're essentially at the river, I can't remember what the river's called, but when they before they crossed as a nation into the land, they sent spies, 12 spies at the start,
indeed, yeah.
To go pretty much scope out the land and report back to Moses what they saw. And 10 of the spies did basically said, oh, these people will tear us apart. They're giants and they're hostile and they're like strong and insane. But 2 of them reported back to Moses that it was good. It's right for the picking. Let's do it. We got God on our with us. Like we can slay it. And those 2 people were Joshua and Caleb. That was their names.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I hope that the people that don't or aren't religious followed on better than I did.
I don't know. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool story.
Yeah.
Caleb and Joshua and Caleb.
Mm.
I can see how that went.
Yeah.
What happened? What was the outcome? Did they invade?
They were allowed to enter the land with the rest of the generation that weren't the ones who were shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So they were the only one of their generation that was allowed to enter. So because the rest of them were grumbling and walking around for 40 years and not doing the right thing, that whole generation weren't allowed, but their children were. So it was literally just the younger generation and Joshua and Caleb that were allowed into the new promised land because of their good report, their can-do attitude.
They're positive, yeah.
Honestly, if that was me, I would have just been like, man, this place has got honey. Let's go.
I vaguely recall like the grapes were like massively.
Big.
I don't know if that's just the illustrations in the old children's Bible stories. But
look, I don't know, but like I'm presuming it's fairly well documented in the Torah. So I presume that there is some fairly accurate descriptions of what they went through, man, because the Torah itself is pretty sacred to the Jewish community. So I dare say it's very accurate. Hey,
there you go. Well, your shoot from the hip topic is
it's got something different.
Yeah, something different. Little Bible story.
Oh, it's been a while since we had a Bible story.
Yeah.
a
few episodes at least. There you
go. I've read this Exodus like 1,000 times. It's actually one of my favourite stories.
Because your name's in it, that's why.
Yeah, it's Josh and Caleb.
I like how Moses himself, the king of Egypt, when he was born, killed off all the kids. Moses was put into a basket and floated down and ended up landing where the king's daughter bathed, and she took him in.
That was the scene that got him.
she took him in, eh?
Just the bathing princess.
No, she turned into a soft core. Like
she might have had a G banger on. I don't know.
don't think they existed.
What are those erotic fucking books called? Just turn to one of them for Josh.
Probably more like she's standing in the river with. This is how I picture it.
Harry
standing in the river, and then there's just like all these handmaidens just washing her.
It's a good image.
But yeah, it's an empowering story to know that God could use someone like Moses. So Moses was then brought up in the king of Egypt's home as an Egyptian, and later on in life he found out that essentially he was a Hebrew.
Did the Egyptians build the pyramids?
So yes, probably with slaves, probably with the Hebrew slaves, but. The moral of the story. So Moses' mum was a maiden of the Pharaoh's wife. So she was at the river. So it's not like
so she was. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
she like planted the kid and then got to raise it anyway. Sort of thing. Yeah,
but then he was raised in an Egyptian household. Found out he was Jewish, and then God used him to lead the Hebrews out of enslavement in Egypt.
Once his stepbrother, when his stepbrother Ramses became king.
Do you reckon they were Hebrews? Or
it was Ramses, wasn't it?
I think something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was God just like Kiwi, and he's like Hebrew, and then that's like they just called him Hebrews.
That's could have possibly be. Oh,
wow!
Just like how things are like
Hebrew
Chinese whispers.
I think that's.
And things just change in time. And the guy writes a book on the.
Are you sure you haven't fathered a child? Because that was like just a terrible dad joke, man.
Look, we did have another joke like that today at work. It was like one of the fellas is Italian, so one of the other boys is like, "How'd your day go? How'd your day go? How did your day go?" He's like, "How'd your day go?" I'm like, okay, this is probably going to HR.
Nothing like a little bit of casual racism amongst friends.
Yeah. Ah, sweet.
Look, it's not, you wanted something different, and you were handing for backing on his story.
I like it. I like the story. I learned something.
You got it.
Yeah, I was itching because he was talking about creativity, so it was like the perfect segue. But I'm like, damn it, you haven't gone yet. So
that's all right.
All right. So
creativity.
My statement, my topic, my little fucking discussion generator is AI. Is it the future or is it the end of creativity? Discuss.
Who's going first, Josh?
Nah, you go, man.
Fuck. Well, it's discussion, so it could be both of us.
Mate, you're living up there with ChatGPT as your best friend. I feel like you should.
Yeah, because you two are down south still. All right. If ChatGPT creates other ChatGPTs, ChatGPT isn't the end of creation because itself will create a better ChatGPT. So the thought of having an artificial intelligence won't kill
not creation. Creativity.
But to create something, don't you require creativity?
Ooh.
Honestly, I would think you would require some sort of creativity to sort of think outside the box to what you're experiencing currently to know how to improve.
I mean, you're discussing it. I'm not allowed to talk. I have opinions on this.
But you can discuss, Josh. Well, then someone talk to me. Otherwise, I'll ring a listener.
Look, I'm thinking.
Well, I'll pad. So,
yeah, pad me.
I think it's a great tool. Like I now use it daily because it cuts down time, and I can, for example, articulate an email and then chuck that exact word vomit, which is 80% of the way there, into ChatGPT, and it just cleans it right up perfectly.
Just realigns everything.
It just makes it so much easier. You don't have to spend time rereading and checking and making sure you've said things and it flows.
No, I spend time because sometimes it just sounds a bit try-hardish.
When
you got to be careful how you curate the actual ChatGPT answers.
Yeah, but I feel like there's still creativity in what you can get it to do. So like you can think of creative ways to make it do what you want because you're still in charge.
Yeah, but isn't that the premise of AI? It's the fact that
No, the only reason that you need still creativity to use ChatGPT currently is because ChatGPT isn't quite to the point where I think people are intending ChatGPT to be.
yeah,
So
self-learning and self-taught, which is it's not there.
I think once it reaches that point of becoming or surpassing humans, I feel like you won't need to worry about how it's going to give an answer. You could just give the basics of the outline of what you want, and it'll do everything else. So currently, you need to kind of fact check a lot. Yeah. Or if you don't need fact check, you just need to like curate a little bit so it's not so obvious that it's ChatGPT. But
that's ChatGPT. What about AI in general? Is it going to stop people thinking for themselves and being creative?
I think the whole thing is it takes pressure off of humans for the mundane to do the mundane tasks, so we then have time to think about more pressing matters like
that's how we got to
say climate change, something like that. You know,
it's not real, mate. How is that a pressing matter?
It's not, but that's the theory I think behind it. I think it's just going to create a lazier society and divide poverty and wealth even more so.
But I think didn't you just go back on what you just said then?
Yeah, you kind of did because you were sort of saying it frees you up for more time for...
I said that's what I think it was intended for.
But you think it's just going to create lazy people who don't think for themselves?
Yes, yeah.
I think it's going to reflect and highlight what people are already. So you can use ChatGPT to sort of do your bidding and not have to worry about how to create or how to, I guess, do what you want it to do. Or you can use AI as a creative tool to learn new things. So it's like a tutor online that you can delve into at any time you need. It's free.
So
mostly free.
Surely,
so you can use it as a tutoring thing to sort of teach you how to do things, or do something that's sort of a step towards where you need to be. So I don't think it needs to be taking over everything. It can,
but it will take over a lot of aspects of normality. So this is ironic. I've had this conversation now with a few people, how in our society we have like the whole LGBT movement and, you know, this and that that's going on. And I personally believe it's because we have made our lives very easy, like easier and easier and easier, right?
Yeah.
So no longer you're worried about, okay, today I've got to go pick apples. I've got to go reap something. I've got to go crush the grain up to make some bread, and then I've got to cook it and have dinner with the family unit, right? Instead, now you can just go to a store, grab it, get home, do whatever. So we become lazy. So then we allow more time in ourselves to think about other things and then create more dramas and other problems.
So what you're saying is you've taken the problems and dangers away from the external environment, and therefore you look internally for those.
Well, I think we've taken away
and that's
simplicity of living and complicated it in
100%.
technology. Yeah. That's where I think we've gone, and I think AI will propel that to another level, and then create this division more so between the rich and poor.
I like this topic. Would you? Yeah, it probably will. Probably will expand the gap, but I feel like that if used correctly, AI could reach a point where it can do a lot of. We can do a lot of these tasks that we are expected to do day to day that we're not. That's beyond that simplicity of life, and it can bring us back to that point of simplicity.
But it won't.
With the same
look, it could if it was used right, but nothing in this world is used really right, man. It's not. We always seem to.
That's not what Caleb and Josh had. Was a positive attitude, and they got into that new land.
Look,
and then you come into this, and it's just negative.
No, look, I agree with you in that thought. And yes, if it was
Need some
used
more milk and
correctly, it could bring people back to the simplicity of the way life should be. But I don't think it will, because we inherently pervert and wickedize things. Essentially, we do as a. That's not a word. I know.
Wickedize. No. I wasn't going to pull you up on that. Like, we got the intention of what you're saying.
But I think that's the way it'll end up going, man. And I think we need to be careful, and we certainly don't need another governing body to govern it, because then that governing body that's going to govern it will then take away more freedoms or divert the way it should be for the wealthy because of their own greed.
Yeah, so I think the problem is the wealthy, not the problem, but I guess it's the resources they have at hand to be able to utilize AI to a bigger extent compared to, I guess, ourselves and I guess the lower class, that they don't have the resources to be able to use AI to the biggest benefit they can have. So they won't gain money from it. They'll probably cut time down on doing tasks, but they won't actually be able to benefit as much as the wealthy.
Yeah. And look, I hadn't had to write for a long time, and now I have to send emails and things, and I find that in me doing it, I get better and better and like get back to where I were.
Yeah.
And I think if someone's going to just do that for you and you can type in some basic things, you're going to end up forgetting the old tech. Dad uses this as a prime example a lot. That's putting an edge on brass. We can't do it like they used to. Now, I don't know why. I don't actually know if that statement's true anymore. When I was growing up, Dad used to use it all the time. I'm sure both of you have heard Dad say this. But that's technology that was lost.
What are we talking about again?
No, in the fact of having something to help you out and enhance technology, enhance life, right, and doing the mundane, you forget how to do the simple, right? Like writing an email, right?
Yeah.
Or writing a paragraph. If you don't do it, I dare say if you don't do it monthly, let alone weekly, you're rusty. And if you don't do it for a year, you're even worse. And then if a few years, then suddenly you're back to what you were in grade 8 at school.
The biggest example I could probably give for that is mathematics. How often do you actually sit down and work out something rather than just go on a calculator?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The calculator gives you the answer without the effort. Yeah. So in that way, I'm backing your story, but it is what you make of it. But society will take the easier route.
But hang on, you've just said it is what you make of it, but now we've got generations that can't do their times tables.
I know, but they've made it that way. They haven't.
So don't you think the same will follow the same principle with AI? Now AI to get crack AI, we've got to get quantum computing,
which we're at,
essentially viable, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much at that point.
There
is
not to the level of efficiency. I don't think. I don't know enough to.
There's literally recently a quantum computer that has been created or about on the cusp that is, I think, beyond. I don't know, way better than computers now, like 10-fold, 100-fold.
Thank goodness, because I hate waiting for things to load. It should just be instant.
Well, that comes down to your internet. But what I was going to say, I had something to say. Yeah, it is what you make of it, and I like to come out of it in a positive manner, that we can reach a point where we know how to make it, rather than just taking advantage of the situation and sort of floating.
Hey, look,
everyone's different, and there's not just one linear path. Everyone's going to take their own path, and there's going to be some that do, some that don't. But I think that's where you're going to find out the biggest benefits people make is if you use it as a tool rather than an end result, then you're going to benefit from it most.
There's always going to be a component of society that misuses stuff, or there's a seedy element to things. Like, for example, with AI, there is like AI boyfriends and girlfriends. You can chat to AI like it's a human and have conversations with it. Or there's things like sex robots. I don't think that's necessarily healthy. If people go, oh, well, I don't have to put all the time and effort into a relationship, I can just buy a robot with some sort of AI in it, and it can think and, oh, this is a little bit more advanced than the old blow-up doll.
Imagine if the robot's like, no, I got a headache, and rolls over. You're like, fuck.
Okay, and once again, this is just solidifies my statement. That's we perverse things. And I guess
wickedise it.
The ultimate perversion is if the wealthy sees ultimate control over it to enhance their financial gain or power.
Well, yeah, the balance of power. Is AI going to go down a nefarious path, or is it going to stay on the assistive tool?
Could AI recognise that and go, no? But one thing, if AI was to make decisions for a whole nation or even globally, right, it's never, as a leader, you never ever keep everyone happy. So some group is going to be repressed out of this, even if AI does get to that point where it can see the greed between the rich and the poor and the power trip between the rich and the poor, and then try and meet the middle. If it did become self-aware, right? But then at some stage, someone's going to lose out, you know.
Oh, there's always going to be losers and winners out of anything. So even if there's no AI or ChatGPT or whatever, there's no technology advancement. Well, there always will be, but AI gives you almost that access for everyone, almost. But if there was no AI, only the sophisticated and rich would have access to these technologies. Oh, but the point of ChatGPT or the open source AI was to have access to this to everyone.
And yeah, look, I agree. I agree, and that's a good sort of, you know, path to start off. But whether it stays on that, I'd have to be skeptical.
The AI is not going to accelerate things. It's going to be the brain chip.
Or how people use it as well. I read a thing the other day. Don't quote me, but basically the gist of it was this guy used AI to write songs to then fabricate a fan base to download them. So he was earning royalties.
Oh.
So like created songs using AI, say they existed. I can't remember what it was on. I think probably Spotify. And then
using it as a bot farm.
Basically generated downloads and a fan base all with AI to earn money without really doing any work other than masterminding that.
That's pretty funny.
That's pretty clever, but also I'm pretty sure he went to jail.
I would say that's pretty creative.
Well, yeah. Creative ways to make money out of AI.
Well, I think it's a dangerous path. I think.
Right.
I don't know, man. I just
we've
gone from two extremes in this one podcast. We've gone from pushing everyone away and living in a cabin to let's love AI. It makes your job easier. Yeah, cool. For now, I think we're going to run into a few problems with tech at the end of the day, and one's battery technology and two, power technology. I think
battery. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, so we're limited on battery power at the moment, like batteries itself.
See, what's to go with that diamond battery that was coming out?
So that actually, it was just released in England, the first lot, I guess.
So for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, the diamond battery is a nuclear material encased in a diamond casing, and that diamond casing stops the radiation from getting out. But you could still utilize that nuclear material to creates energy 100% of the time. Yeah. So it's not something you need to recharge or anything. It just creates till.
So I think it lasts 20,000 years.
Yeah,
I think if I read it correctly.
So and that casing enables you to use it in like a phone or use it in your vehicle or anything. So,
But do we know the complications that arises? Yeah, I don't know. We certainly have an energy issue with like household energy. Without going nuclear, small nuclear plants in my mind is the way. But how are you gonna keep all these AI powered? If everyone suddenly
that's up to them to work that out.
it is maybe AI will work it out. Who knows?
Did you guys hear? Oh, if you've listened to Rogan, you would have heard it. That ChatGPT I think they did an update on it, but ChatGPT thought it was getting shut down, so it copied itself to try and mitigate the shutdown.
Oh, I haven't heard that episode.
Yeah, so it's on multiple episodes. I've listened to it recently.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they've given it protocols to obviously survive at all stakes, kind of thing.
Yeah,
or something that have to, because obviously unless it is sentient, that it realizes what it's doing and is trying to protect itself.
It's self-preservation.
But yeah, they sort of, I guess the programmers are the only people that will know why it'll do that, unless it's done it and no one knows why. So that's probably the biggest.
It simply may have just had fail safes for hacking, and then it's just thought that it's been hacked and then defaulted to a fail safe. That's probably the more likely answer.
Yeah, but it's not the most interesting way to think about it. Come on, Josh.
No, it's not.
That's no fun.
But it's something that something like this is only as smart as the data that it's put into it.
Until
it's coding.
Until it's sentient and then does it
Well,
itself.
the problem is until it's starting to, people are saying it's starting to read its own data and it's in its like cycle loop that will it's hard to get out of. So it's learning from its own teaching.
So will it create false things then?
Well, that's the biggest thing about it, because it could lead itself astray. Or it could work out a way of doing something that is better than what we're doing and lead itself into success. You never know.
Caleb's like, why did I bring this up?
No. Well,
I like the topic.
I wanted to generate discussion. I'm glad I brought it up. I think the whole concept has worked well for the first go at it. The old
I reckon it's great.
Shoot from the hip, keeps it fresh.
Yeah, it does. You guys let us know. Give us some topics.
Yeah. Give us some stuff to throw out there amongst the group. Little hand grenades, little fire starters for our campside discussions.
Yeah, minus the fire, because the mics and the diaphragms and stuff.
The diaphragms.
There's wood behind you guys, so it's not very not fire friendly.
Look, it's all right. I like it, Shannon.
I liked it. Good. Yeah, it's a good idea from you, Shannon. We'll give you kudos for that. It was your idea to do it for this season, so
yeah.
I figured
there's always room for improvement.
Always.
We came into these breakdowns with no preparation anyway, so we may as well just turn it into a.
If anything, it's reduced our workload prior to.
Because you both put it in AI and got questions to ask. I actually thought about the question.
No.
See, I did. So I wasn't even referencing what I was referencing. I was more getting at the fact of the political change and our change in the podcast. That was the 2 points that I had with the new change.
I don't like change.
I know.
I feel betrayed.
Land of new
and alone.
Beginnings. It's because you said land. See, land.
Yeah. See, if I said the new beginnings,
instigating word.
If you just said new beginnings, we were like, all right, Shannon wants out the podcast. Let's just do it ourselves.
Be like,
let's start again.
Shannon's flipped back to his
original
sexual orientation.
Yeah, he's back to being a
I
lesbian.
chucked the land in to chuck a bit of mystic sort of feel to it.
Mystic.
But
we've been on a roller coaster tonight. That's for sure.
Wickedest. Yeah.
Look, it's nice to approach some other topics that are a bit more left and right field, and still look at it through the lens of 3 Australian dickhead hunters.
There was like nothing about hunting.
Who know very little about much, but hey, hope you enjoyed listening to us thrash it out.
This is how we get smarter, because we're inputting data into our own head AIs.
Speaking of hunting, are we going to go through that or what? Well, you know.
What?
See, this is
The
part
most
of the
recent one.
loneliness. He's so lonely. He's like,
the
oh,
most-
talk to me. Don't leave me.
He doesn't want to wrap it up. We're trying to like bring this to a natural pause, and he's just
No,
like,
because one of us went on a recent hunt.
Who?
yeah, and that's where he discussed Trump and Elvis.
Okay, well, I guess we're not getting into it then.
Save it for another time.
Oh, I do have an ND, but I'd have to
Fed it first and save it for another.
yeah,
episode.
basically.
We did have a request though, so you got to give that at the end of the podcast. So there was last podcast. There was no Hey Daddy, so he regressed.
Was that
Hey
Hayden?
Daddy.
No, so that was so you fucked up now because there was some serious hey daddies in the second half of that podcast,
Well,
which is why I said
Yeah.
to that particular person who reached out to us, stay
I
tuned
didn't
for
read your.
exactly.
didn't read that
See, this is what happens when there's 3 people answering messages on Instagram, or 2 people.
Yeah, I just tune out.
Nah. So the second half of the podcast. So for anyone listening to this, the last
Sounds like an ND
episode,
for me.
which was the second half of our first recording for the year, there was a shit ton of this button being pressed.
Hey, Daddy.
You're a sick. Hey, I've got a daughter. You're a sick, twisted.
Yeah. And you'll get a lot of
Hey, Daddy.
over time. So get used to it.
No,
She'll never stop saying it.
I still can't believe it's a sex thing. for
Stop
you,
harping
to
on
be
about
honest,
it.
man.
You're the only one who
Oh.
feels uncomfortable in
You
this
got
room.
2 daughters.
You're just not bringing daddy energy, mate.
You're 3 knuckles deep. Hey, Daddy. What do we
Not
think
big
about
daddy
as a
energy.
kid?
Yeah. Yeah. You're just not giving daddy.
I don't want to be that's incest. that's
Oh, it's all right, mate. If you know, you know.
Oh,
if you're sick, you're sick.
Oh, God. We're doing that thing where we just go around in circles. We don't ever end this podcast and we keep fucking carrying on like pork chops. We'll end it there. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the concept that we've brought to you, Shoot from the Hip. If you liked it, sing out. If you hated it, too bad we're doing it. But suggest ways we can improve. Send us some topics. And we'll give you a shout out if it's yours that we're using. Maybe.
steer us in the right
Will we?
direction.
I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not.
We'll probably get there and be like, what was his name?
Remember the
Mike
question,
69-32.
Anyway, thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Catch you next time.
I hope you didn't. I hope you'll go home and be like, that was shit.
Music, stop, Josh. Let's do it.
Catch ya.
Gotcha.
I'm going to be the last one that says something. G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.